Pilipino, galing natin ito.
Buong tiwala sa kakayahan,
Porsigido sa anumang laban, di ka susuko sa anumang hamon. Pangarap noon, tagumpay ngayon.
kayod ng kayod, di napapagod.
Anong di nagtatakot. Diyos, bayan at pamilya,
Sa puso mo'y lagi dala.
Pilipino, oh, oh, galing natin ito. Pilipino, oh, oh, marinig sa mundo. Isigaw mo, oh, oh, galing natin ito. Puso, isip, lakas, galing natin ito. Pilipino. Pilipino, Pilipino, galing natin ito. Pilipino, Pilipino, galing natin ito.
Pilipino, Pilipino, inulman ng bagyo. Puso mo buong buo, singtibay ng apoy at ginto.
Kahit na dumayo sa iba yung dagat, paluin man ang maso di magdadalaman. Tabo naman ang tubig ng aking kabahan. Sama-sama natin ang itataas ang layag. Sa patagpan, lubang-lubang ang harap-harap, pinagtatawa na nalala. Parang wala lang, labayan kaya sila mga kababayan.
anong larangan, galing natin ito. Iisa ang sigaw ng milyong puso.
Pilipino, oh, oh, magaling natin ito. Pilipino, oh, oh, marinig sa mundo. Isigaw mo, oh, oh, magaling natin
Galing, 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 galing.
Once again, let's welcome Kryptonites.
The stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world
isang bida.
Hi guys, so for our first song, we're gonna be singing Snowman by Sia. We hope you enjoy. Don't cry, snowman, not in front of me. Who'll catch your tears if you can't catch me, darling? If you can't catch me, darling. Don't cry, snowman, don't leave me this way. Bottle of water can hold me close, baby. Can't hold me close, baby. I want you to know that I'm never leaving, 'cause I'm Mr. Snow till death will be freezing. You are my home for all seasons. So come on, let's go. Let's go below zero and hide from the sun. I love you forever and we'll have some fun. Let's head to the North Pole and live happily. Please don't cry, no tears now. It's Christmas, baby. My snowman and me. My snowman and me. Baby. Don't cry, snowman, don't you feel the sun? Who'll carry me without legs to run, honey? Without legs to run, honey. Don't cry, snowman, don't you shed a tear. Who'll hear my secrets if you don't have ears, baby? If you don't have ears, baby. I want you to know that I'm never leaving, 'cause I'm Mr. Snow till death will be freezing. Yeah, you are my home for all seasons. So come on, let's go. Let's go below zero and hide from the sun. I love you forever and we'll have some fun. Let's head to the North Pole and live happily. Please don't cry, no tears now. It's Christmas, baby. My snowman and me. My snowman and me. Baby.
It's a Christmas song tungkol sa isang bigang nagsimula noong simbang gabi. The song is called Bibingka. One, two, one, two, three, hey! Dahan-dahan na umahagos sa mukha ng bawat tao. Bumabagsak pa ang mata. At dahan-dahan kumisyan ang mga ilaw ng pumatatang simbahan, kung saan magkasama tayo magdasal at kinig sa misa na ngayon. Pagdating ng awan namin, ang oras huminto ng magkaroon. Ang Sabay-sabay! Nagsiyawit ang mga sa langit at namunang lupinong pasko'y sumapit. Ay ganda ng haralan, pilit sumasabay sa ihip ng hangin. Ang sabi nila, natapos din ang siyang na araw ng simbang gabi. Ang sabi ko sa sarili, baka'y tanong uli. Pero mula nung unang ama namin na ang iyong kamay ay hinawakan, di mo na binitawan. Nagsiyawit ang mga sa langit at namunang lupinong pasko'y sumapit. Di ganda ng hangin, pilit sumasabay sa ihip ng hangin. Ang sabi nila, sabi nila, sabi nila, oh, sabi nila, sabi nila, siya nang dahil ikaw na ang aking tadhana. Hubilan siya ng ibigay. Ikaw na ang aking tadhana.
Dito sa LNC may
Pastor, kung okay pa kayo, taas kamay. Tonight is such a beautiful night to be with you guys. Maraming salamat. Mula sa aming lahat, we just want to say we love you guys. Thank you so much. Alright, sing with us. Sing may gusto ka sa isang tao pero hindi mo masabi sa kanya. This song is for you and it's called Pagtingin. Dami pang gusto sabihin, ngunit malayo na. Hintayin na lang ang hangin, tangayin ang salita. Wag mo akong sisihin, mahirap ang tumayan. Daw-daw
Great morning, LN citizens, GalingLNC youth, and sa ating mga viewers sa buong bansa. Of course, kahit gabi na, our energy is always bright and full na para bang umaga pa rin, di ba? So, kumusta naman lahat? And hello sa mga kasama natin ngayon at nanonood sa ating Facebook Live. I would like to welcome you all to our live special podcast entitled #Make a Choice, Voters Education Campaign under the Zoomers 3-Point Program. Ako si Tin Sandoval, your host for today's podcast episode. So, bago tayo magsimula, syempre, ano nga ba ang #Make a Choice series? So, Make a Choice series is by the GalingLNC Youth, one of the many podcast programs under the Zoomers podcast. So, kasama nito ang iba pang mga programs na R3D2, Vince and Vince, and Alab Hangout. Of course, by being active members in the community, we aim talaga na mapag-usapan natin at makapag-shed light tayo tungkol sa mga certain issues that we should be concerned about. So lahat tayo, we have the responsibility to be socially aware. Hence, nabuo nga itong konsepto or programang ito, ang Make a Choice. So to introduce to you ang mga guests na makakasama natin this episode, unahin muna natin ang kapwa nating GalingLNC Youth Leader. So currently, he is studying BS Biology major in Medical Biology sa Cavite State University, and he is an active member or active volunteer in our LNC Vaccination Hub. Grabe, lodi talaga ito sa sobrang dedication and effort niya sa ating mga nakaraang programs. And hindi lang yan dahil siya rin ay parte ng GalingLNC Youth Community Council at ng Youth Core Group bilang Community Engagement Lead. So siya ay si Kuya Luster. So kaway-kaway ka naman dyan, Kuya Luster. Ayan. So let's also introduce ang isa pa. And we are joined once again by a mentor to the youth and the Youth Development Program Lead of GalingLNC. So siya naman ay si Kuya Jon. Ayan. So kaway-kaway din, Kuya Jon.
Hello. Good morning
Ayan.
po.
Ayan. And of course, our main guest for today's episode. Ayan. We are joined by a brilliant role model of leadership. So isa siya sa masasabi nating tulad natin na game changer talaga in her own ways. She's now a licensed physician and currently siya ang head na Tricia Robredo Foundation, which conducts leadership workshops in several communities in the Philippines. Kaya naman, I'm very excited to introduce to you all si Ate Tricia Robredo. So hello po, Ate Tricia. Ayan, so
Ate naman sa akin. Parang ang tanda ko na. Hello. Good afternoon.
Ayan. So, let's start this episode with a question. So, tanungin muna natin yung mga guests, or tanungin ko muna po kayo bilang mga guests tungkol sa leadership discovery nyo. So, how can you say that someone is a leader? So, paano po ba nasabi na, leader ito? So, kayo po, Ate Tricia, pwede niyo po ba kami kwentuhan kung paano nyo nasabi or nalaman sa sarili nyo na leader din po kayo in your own way?
Well, I think, paano ba? Siyempre, ng mga bata tayo, ng mga nasa grade school, siguro or high school, we tend to believe na yung mga leader ay yung mga na-elect as past president, as vice president, etc. But, like, as we grow older, we realize that it's beyond the titles. Of course, you need, parang paano ba? Parang medium yung title for you to do something probably. But at the same time, you don't necessarily need them to inspire others to move. I think as long as meron kang influence and gamitin mo yung influence na yun para mag-empower ng iba, para to make a small difference, to make a difference no matter how small it is. Hindi mo kailangan maging elected class president para matawag na leader. As long as you fulfill these things, I think you can be considered naman a leader. So, ayun.
Yes, Ate Kuya, I agree po sa sinabi ni Ate Tricia na you are a leader when you're doing good, we're doing something good, we're doing something na makakatulong sa community. And ako na-realize ko na I am a leader when I realized that I am a servant. When the times na nagsiserve ako, kagaya ng ginagawa ko ngayon sa sa community natin na nagsiserve ako at nagvo-volunteer ako para sa ating vaccination drive.
Ate Tin, ako din, agree ako dun sa sinabi ni Ate Tricia at saka ni Kuya Luster, no? Yung pagiging leader kasi, it is not something na parang ididikta mo kung ano yung gagawin ng tao, di ba? Pero it's the power of influence. Paano mo ma-influensyahan yung mga tao na gumawa ng tama, gumawa ng mabuti sa kapwa. And also, paano natin na-empower yung iba na maging leader din sa kani-kanilang mga larangan, sa kani-kanilang mga social circles, yan, ganyan.
Yes. So, I agree din kasi talaga napakalaki talaga ng impact kapag talagang malaki yung impluwensya mo sa mga tao, lalo na ikaw ay mismong leader ka sa iyong community. And yes, I totally agree sa mga nabanggit nyo, lalo na nga dito sa GalingLNC. In our community, we aim to develop community leaders, shape our community's culture, and to share stories of hope and courage to serve as an inspiration to other LN citizens. And ayun nga, no, sa mga hindi pa nakakaalam sa ating mga viewers dyan, kanina nabanggit ko na the Make a Choice series is organized by the GalingLNC Youth. So tayong GalingLNC Youth na youth arm of GalingLNC in Lancaster, New City, we advocate for the youth to discover, thrive, and share their galing to the community. So going back to the definition of GalingLNC itself, so matanong ko kayo, para sa inyo, ano ang pumapasok sa isip nyo kapag naririnig nyo ang salitang bayanihan? So, kayo po, Ate Tricia, ano ba yung pumapasok sa isip nyo kapag naririnig nyo yung salitang yon, yung bayanihan?
Natawa ako pag tinatawag niyo akong Ate Tricia, pero sige na nga lang. Kasi parang yun nasanay na tawagin ako. Well, yung bayanihan for me, like ako, honestly, pag narinig ko yung bayanihan ngayon, naisip ko trabaho. Kasi yung trabaho ko right now, one of the things I'm doing, I work closely with Bayanihan e-Consulta. It's an initiative of the Office of the Vice President. Ginagawa namin ngayon is, di ba congested yung mga hospitals natin ngayon sa Metro Manila. So what we do is, we tried to pool a bunch of doctors that are willing to volunteer to offer their services for free to our indigent kababayan. So it helps them in a way na, lalo yung mga walang access talaga to healthcare because of the pandemic, because of financial reasons, natutulungan natin sila. But at the same time, we do what we can to help the hospitals na mag-decongest a bit. So, yung sinabi ko sa inyo na when I hear bayanihan, I think of work because that's what I'm doing. But essentially, lumalabas doon yung bayanihan is, coming together as one. And alam mo yun, para siyang, kung napanood nyo na yung Avengers, parang kanya-kanya may mga superpowers and then nag-assemble silang lahat to do good. And I think, in essence, parang ganun yung bayanihan. Yung mga tao, nagka-come together for a certain cause and then they try to contribute what they can to the table kasi alam nila na pag i-combine yun, pag maging cumulative lahat ng efforts natin, we can make a difference, we can inspire change. So, ayun, yun yung naiisip ko sa bayanihan, na hindi tayo nagsusulo-sulo, alam natin na mas marami tayong ma-achieve kapag sama-sama talaga tayo. So, ayun.
Yes, unity talaga yung pinaka-highlight din sa bayanihan. I agree. Yun din yung nasa isip ko pagdating din sa bayanihan. Ayan. So, how about you, Kuya Luster? Ikaw po.
I agree din po sa what Ate Tricia said na bayanihan is pagtutulong sa isa't kapwa. Like yung ginagawa natin dito sa GalingLNC where we're showing our compassion and giving our service in the community without asking in return. Like parang you're just serving because that's what your heart want.
Yes, I agree. Actually, nabanggit kanina ni Ate Tricia yung sa Bayanihan e-Consulta. Parang naisip ko yung vaccination drive natin dito sa Lancaster, New City, di ba? Yung pagsasama-sama ng volunteers. Parang, for example, yesterday, nagkaroon 943 vaccines yung na-administer ng LNC Vaccination Hub. Na lahat yun, volunteers natin, yung nagmaman. Sila yung nagbabantay sa registration, everything. Volunteer-led siya. So pag pinagsama-sama natin yung lahat ng kakayahan natin, simple man yan or whatever, kahit maliit na bagay, malaki yung naitutulong niya pag tinignan natin ng iisa, pag pinagsama-sama natin. So for me, yung bayanihan, yung pagsasama-sama, yung unity, yun nga, tama.
Yes. Yun din, lahat ng mga sinabi nyo ay yun din yung nasa isip ko pagdating, kapag naririnig ko din yung salitang bayanihan. Kasi Galing LNC in a sense is a spirit. Kasi kapag may nakikita tayong tao na nagpapamalas ng values ng LNC community na better together, respect at service, well, automatic na Galing LNC yan. And because our community has already reached 19,000 households, our participation through all of the civic engagements such as elections, social issues, and the like will define how can we build our community and how the next generation of leaders can inspire the youth towards good governance and value-based mission. So actually, di ba, Ate Tricia, as I've mentioned earlier, siya ay Executive Director of the Tricia Robredo Foundation at such a young age. So, Tricia or Ate Tricia, so pwede niyo po ba i-share sa amin how you also build or empower communities and how you apply leadership in your own organization?
Okay, ayun. Na-acknowledge mo na young pa naman ako. Salamat naman. Pero katulad nung sinabi kanina, no, na when you're a leader, you're not necessarily the head. Probably you're symbolic in that sense, but at the same time, parang for me, more importantly, being a leader is being one with the people, and you try to empower them to make sure that they do the same thing, or they baka mas bumuti pa nga sila sa'yo, baka mas magaling sa than the actual leader. And I think that's what we're trying to do in the Tricia Robredo Foundation. Hindi kami nagdidictate na this is how you should think, this is what you should do. But rather, mas capacity building yung ginagawa namin sa Tricia Robredo Foundation. So we try to equip the youth, kasi karamihan sa mga kasama namin, mga kabataan din, with the necessary skills and with the necessary knowledge that they could apply in their own communities, and use that knowledge to fit their leadership style or kung ano style na yung pinaka-akma. Kasi for us, mas effective na hanapin mo what would suit or what would work best for you. So parang basically yung ginagawa ng Tricia Robredo Foundation is binibigyan lang kayo ng certain guides or certain models na pwede niyong gawin. At the same time, bigyan kayo ng confidence na kaya niyong mag-build ng projects, kaya niyong gumawa ng difference talaga sa sarili ninyong communities. And that's what I like about our foundation. I think the goal is to really empower the youth. To do something about what they're given. And yung mahalaga doon is kung hindi mo lang sila dinidiktahan at parang ma-hone yung skills nila, parang patuloy nilang gagawin and patuloy na pagbubutihin yung trabaho nila. Kasi binigay mo na yung foundation eh. Everything else that will follow, it's up to them. But because you equip them with something and with the necessary things, alam mo magtutuloy-tuloy siya. So, ayun, sa Tricia Robredo Foundation, what we do is we empower, we try to give them the confidence and the boost that they need. So, parang nagiging mas support system yung leader. Kaysa taga-diktan, ito yung kailangan yung gawin. Para kaming hub, or para kami yun nga, yung sabi ko kanina, nagiging support system kami. So, ayun, yun yung, yeah, that's how you roll sa Tricia Robredo Foundation, kumbaga.
That's interesting. Similar din po pala siya sa GalingLNC. So, ganun din po yung parang ginagawa din po namin. Hino-hone din kami, mga youth leaders or yung mga volunteers to create programs, to create projects na sa tingin namin talaga ay mabe-benefit ng mga LN citizens and kapwa GalingLNC youth. Ayan. So, ito, quick thought lang na naisip ko, guys. In the school and the workplace setting, so how do you encourage the people around you to become leaders or game changers? Or kumbaga, paano nyo na-influensyahan sila to move, to do their part, or to simply contribute? Kasi para sa akin, being leaders, that's what we also do, di ba? We make sure that the people around us are influenced to become better or to become leaders as well. So, ano yung thoughts niyo about that, guys? So, anyone can answer. So, ano yung thoughts niyo doon?
I agree dun sa sinabi ni... sorry, Kuya Luster. I agree dun sa sinabi ni Dr. Tricia kanina na yung pag-build ng leadership is more on capacity building, di ba? Na kung paano ma-empower, yun nga, ma-empower pa yung ibang leader na through their own experiences or kung ano man yung kaalaman nila, mailabas nila yung pagiging leader nila through that.
Ayan, so may
And-
sasabihin si Ay, sorry.
No.
Sige,
So,
go.
ayun sa akin naman, we can empower our fellow youth or the fellow youth in our community by inviting them hanggang sa magpa-participate na sila. And we can also empower them by making them believe in themselves na may galing sila, na may ipapakita sila, and na there's something na sa kanila na makakatulong sa community, and there is something na in them na makakapag-touch sa life of other people. And of course, para maniwala at para magkaroon sila ng belief sa sarili nila, of course, kailangan din natin silang i-push and of course, suportahan din sila.
Yes, I agree din. So, ikaw po, Ate Tricia, ano po yung thoughts niyo po about doon sa question na yon?
Well, ako, I think I've tried. Honestly, parang ako naman, never naman naging perfect yung leadership style ko. I've tried different things. Nung bata ako, lagi akong bida-bida. Gusto ko lagi dati class president ako. So I remember when I was a kid, that's what I always gone for. Every academic year, dapat class president ako. And I've been labeled the bossy one. I won't deny that. Syempre nung bata ako, parang iniisip ko, leader, dapat kita pagsabihan ganito gawin mo. But then you realize much later on na mas kaiinisan ka lang, the more you demand from people certain things na ayaw nilang gawin. May inisan talaga sila sa'yo, and that's tendency na hindi ka nila sundin. Parang kumbaga kamumuhian ka pa nila. And it's something I had to learn the hard way, na if I want people to listen, if I want to influence people, kailangan ko mapakita yun na yung hinihingi ko sa kanila, kaya ko rin gawin. So I think as a leader, it's important to be one with your group. Kahit sa school man yan, sabihin natin, you can't demand from others what you can't do yourself. So for me as a leader, it's important that one of the ways na kaya mo silang mapasunod or kaya mo silang ma-inspire to move is to show them that you also do it yourself, even as a leader. I think that's one of the bigger lessons I learned from my parents. Seeing them as I grow up, na parang how they're effective in their field is that pinapakita talaga nila na hindi ibig sabihin na leader ako, hindi ko gagawin yung mga pinapagawa ko sa inyo. I'm with you on the ground. Na nararamdaman ko yung mga karanasan ninyo. Kaya kong gawin yung mga hinihingi ko sa iba. And I think kapag ganun, mas nakaka-inspire ka and mas nakaka-motivate ka sa ibang tao na mas gumalaw. Parang, again, stronger in numbers kayo, diba? So, mapakita mo na nakikisa ka talaga sa kanila. So, ayun, I tried always. Hindi talaga nag-work na basta utusan ko lang sila. Or basta magbigay lang ako ng blanket statements. Kailangan napakita ko talaga na kasama nila ako. And for me, through the years, yung naging pinaka-effective, if that makes sense. That's how I feel mas naging effective ka na leader. Na nakikita ka nila na kasama sila. Ayun. At ginagawa mo yung mga pinapagawa mo sa kanila. Ayun. So, 2 cents dun sa question na yun.
Yes, I was once like that din kasi nung LM din ako or mga bandang junior high school ako, hinahangad ko din na maging every school year din dapat nasa class officers ako, dapat nasa president level din ako, yung ganun. Pero nung time na binuksan ko yung sarili ko for leadership, I told myself na I think hindi ganun dapat yung qualities ng leader, especially that you are in a classroom setting pa. So, through classroom setting, dapat talaga pinapractice na natin yung ganun na mindset na how we're going to encourage leaders, lalo na sa starting pa lang sa classroom setting. And I do agree that those are really effective practices, lalo na in empowering communities and developing leaders. Kasi we make sure that everyone is involved and everyone knows that they have a part to play. Sa ngayon nga sa GalingLNC Youth, I just like to share din na we are comprising of youth volunteers na na-engage natin through the Youth Community Council, our Content Creators Club na Galing Collabs, and iba pang youth activities and programs. Well, going back sa napag-usapan na natin kanina, dahil most of our viewers, well, I am positive na most of our viewers ay mga students pa lang. So, ano kaya ang mga paraan para kagaya natin or kagaya nyo ay ma-discover din nila sa kanilang mga sarili ang pagiging leaders at game changers nila? Kasi kung mostly nga sa atin, na-discover na ang pagiging leader simula nung grade school pa lang tayo, mga nasa high school level pa lang tayo, ganun. So, ano kaya yung mga dinadoubt pa ang sarili nila because they're too young or yung mga hindi pa nila natutuklasan yung leader within themselves. So, what can they do? So, ano yung may bibigay nyong parang advice or tips sa kanila dun sa mga nabanggit ko kanina? So, anyone can answer.
Mauna na siguro ako, Ate Tin. Sorry. Ako, I think, yung pagiging leader kasi, hindi naman kailangan laging malaking, malaking activity or sabi nga ni Ate Tricia nung start pa lang, hindi naman kailangan maging public official ka para maging leader ka. So, kumbaga, i-explore lang natin, i-encourage natin sila na mag-join sa mga groups, sa mga, for example, school clubs or community clubs. And dun sa mga maliliit na bagay na nagpa-participate tayo sa community and sa school, unti-unti na de-develop din dun yung pagiging leader natin. Hindi man porket leader kailangan malaking bagay agad or malaking event yung nililid mo, di ba? Even on our small ways, kaya nating maging leader. So I think mahalaga din dun yung mapalibutan tayo ng mga tao na i-encourage tayo na maging active and maging engaged sa community, na maging aware tayo sa nangyayari sa komunidad natin. So, yun po.
Ayun. So, ikaw, Kuya Luster, ano ba masasabi mo doon? Ikaw bilang student ngayon, ayan. So, pakinggan naman natin na in a perspective ng isang student. Ayan.
Sa akin kasi, based on my experience, dati, alam ko na may there's something in me, kaso nahihiya ako. So first na gagawin is building a confidence, maging confident sa sarili, and we can build confidence through believing in ourselves and surrounding ourselves with the people that believes in us. And kaya din madaming tao or madaming youth na nahihirapan ma-discover yung leadership in themselves kasi natatakot silang magkamali. Para sa akin, making a mistake is normal and it is okay, especially kung nagsisimula ka pa lang. What is not okay is not learning from it and not growing because of your mistake.
Alright, that's interesting. Yun din yung na-realize ko din sa sarili ko nung junior high school din ako. So, I think Ate Tricia also has something to share din kasi fresh graduate siya last year and naging college student din siya. So, parang mag-level up naman tayo sa college level. Ayan. So, Ate Tricia, kayo po.
Ako feeling ko, hindi ko masasabing level up kasi lahat ng leadership roles actually, no mga grade school, high school ko lang siya nagawa. If I have to be honest to you and to whoever's listening, naging active lang talaga ako dyan sa student council, sa leadership, etc. when I was in grade school and high school. So I was in Naga pa. So laking probinsya kasi ako eh. I went to college in Manila and then med school in Manila also. And hindi ako magsisinungaling sa inyo, no? Naging mahiyain ako bigla nung lumipat ako dito. Kung gaano ako kabibo nung bata ako sa probinsya, parang nawala siya lahat kasi nahiya na talaga ako nung lumipat akong Manila. So I shied away from what I used to sign up for. So ayoko dating mag-take ng leadership role sa college. Kahit group work yan, ayoko talaga. As in, I'd say no. But then, bumalik din siya eh. Nung nag-third year college ako, nag-fourth year college ako until med school, I found other areas kung saan bumalik yung excitement ko sa pagiging involved ulit sa any leadership activity, etc. So I think it's important that we allow people to take their time to find out where they can serve best. Hindi naman kasi talaga lahat, paano ba? Hindi lahat pa star. May mga tao who would prefer to work in silence. And it's important to respect that level of comfort. Parang kailangan mo mahanap yung balance ng pag-encourage sa kanila to probably go out of their comfort zone, at the same time not to pressure and overwhelm them to do something that they really don't want to do. Pwedeng yung calling nila wala pala sa pagiging class president, pero pwede sila mag-lead sa isang art activity. So for me, parang the most effective leaders or the most effective change come from those na nagtatrabaho talaga galing sa puso. And alam mo yun, yung may confidence sa sarili kasi alam nila magaling sa ginagawa nila. So for me, for the young people out there who are kind of timid or who don't know how they can serve their community, I think it's important to take your time to be patient with yourself and ask yourself, saan ba ako magaling? Or ano yung gusto kong gawin? Baka doon ako pwede mag-excel, baka doon ako pwede mag-join. And again, yung sasabi ko nga, being a leader doesn't mean you need the position. It's really just being in the position of, influencing others and empowering others. And if you could use that, and if you could be that person in some other way, and bakit hindi? So ayun, parang allow yourself to take the time to discover kung saan ka talaga mag-shine.
Yes.
For the rest of us na nahanap ngayon, it's really to encourage people. If they make mistakes, pagsabihan natin, but at the same time, still be encouraging. Lalo na dahil alam ko yung mga kasama natin ngayon, para mga veterans na sa pagiging leader. Meron tayong mga juniors na meron pa mga pagkakamali. It's important to, hindi nga pagsabihan but to educate them. So, I think it's our responsibility as yung mga nauna sa kanila na turuan sila hanapin, turuan silang gumaling pa. And syempre, mas masaya tayo kung masigitan pa nila tayo, di ba? So, it's our job to also train them to be the best versions of themselves. So, ayun, it's really a balancing act. But, ayun, patience and, ayun, trying to be encouraging pa din sa lahat.
Yes, agree. Talaga yung nag-struck din sa akin sa sinabi din ni Ate Tricia, yung take your time to discover kung kailan ka talaga mag-shine bilang leader in your own way. Kasi ganun din yung nangyari sa akin nun talagang hinintay ko lang talaga yung right time na kung saan mag-e-excel ako na magiging youth leader din ako sa sarili kong paraan. And ako para sa mga kagaya ko rin talaga, and it's important that there are people around me or around us who believe in me or us and our capabilities. The simple fact na another person ay naniniwalang kaya ko rin maging isang leader or maging isang youth volunteer youth leader, nakaka-boost yun ng determination to be a really good leader. And I totally agree with everything you've said, no? So ngayon, pag-usapan naman natin ang mga leadership values. Of course, kahit alam na natin sa sarili nating mga leader tayo, it doesn't stop there. Kasi syempre, kahit sino ba naman, we are aiming to become leaders who are both matino at mahusay. So kahit gaano pa tayo determinado, maglingkod, or kahit gaano pa tayo katalino, importante pa rin yung dalawang yon. So sa tingin nyo guys, our dear guest, paano ba natin mapapamalas yung dalawang values na yon as a leader? How do we exemplify these values sa small scale at paano naman sa larger scale?
Ako, Ate Tin, sa tingin ko, yung wala siyang small or large scale yung pagiging matino at mahusay, di ba? Sabi nga sa Bible, kung sino yung mapagkakatiwalaan sa maliit na bagay, mapagkakatiwalaan sa malaking bagay, di ba? So, yung pagiging matino at for example, pagiging matino, in everything that you do, mapamaliit or mapamalaki, basta binibigay mo yung nagiging tapat ka, nandun yung integrity dun sa ginagawa mo. You're a good leader. If sa pagiging mahusay, mapamaliit man na bagay, pero lagi mo binibigay yung best mo. Mas binibigay mo yung mas higit pa sa expected sa'yo, di ba? So, tas pagiging matino, yun yung, kumbaga, yung pagsasabuhay ng pagiging matino at mahusay. It doesn't matter how small or how big it is, as long as binibigay mo yung buong puso mo. Yun nga yung sabi ni Ate Tricia kanina mahalaga yung puso, yung passion, na sa sarili nating paraan, makapagbigay tayo ng difference sa iba at sa ating komunidad.
Ayan. So, how about si Kuya Luster? Ayan. Pakinggan naman natin yung thoughts niya dito.
Agree ko sa sinabi ni Sir Jon na sa pagiging walang maliit na bagay sa pagiging mabuting leader. Sa akin naman, we can exemplify na pagiging matino at pagiging mahusay through sticking to our goal in serving the community, and by continuing in doing the things that can help to other people and can make other people's life easier. And of course, ano din, we can exemplify din sa pagiging matino at mahusay na leader by having a clear conscience.
Yes. So, ikaw po, Ate Tricia, ano po yung thoughts niyo po doon?
Ako feeling ko wala naman sa hindi nasabi na about being matino at mahusay. But I think ultimately kasi being matino at mahusay starts within. It's not what you do that people, parang ako for me it's important yung mga hindi nakikita kung ano talaga nasa loob mo. Kasi yun yung magdidictate talaga. It's your moral conscience and it's your, alam mo yun yung magdidictate basically kung anong gagawin mo as you move forward. So I think it's important that you stay true to your goals. You stay true to your commitment. Kasi doon magsusunod-sunod lahat eh. Kung paano ka maging matino at mahusay, parang you always have to check on yourself constantly. Like every day, make it, parang gawin mo siyang exercise, kumbaga, na hindi ka dapat makontento na parang, ito nagawa ko na, okay na ako for the day. But constantly evaluate yourself. Am I still true to what I hold dear? Am I still doing this for the benefit of everyone around me, or am I doing it for the selfish reason? So, parang for me, that self-assessment alone is already big. Kasi using your influence, tapos yung pala medyo misdirected, yung parang wala yung heart mo in the right place, magkakaroon ka talaga ng mistakes along the way. So, for me, how you can exemplify matino at mahusay, ayun, sinabi na ni Lester, sabi ng mga kasama natin ngayon, talagang maging totoo ka sa kung ano yung pinangako mo, kung ano yung kinomit mo, and ask yourself and evaluate yourself every day. And commit to being better lang talaga, and to sticking to yun, your commitment, basically.
Yes, ayun. So, ngayon naman dahil napag-uusapan na rin natin yung natin ang mga leaders and our values, let's put it on a national level. So, naniniwala ako na parte ng tungkulin natin as youth leaders and game changers ay ang pagpili rin ng mga tamang leader na uupo at maglilingkod sa buong bansa. We are leaders, so natural lang dapat na maging parte din tayo ng pagpili ng mga tamang leader para sa sarili natin at sa bansa natin. So kaya naman as leaders or game changers, paano nga ba tayo makakapili kung sino ang tamang leader? So Ate Tricia, dahil po sinabi nyo kanina na talagang napaka-powerful talaga ng influence ng isang leader, paano natin may influensya ng mga nasa paligid natin to also choose for the right one?
Well, this is something I feel very strongly about. Choosing the right leaders in the upcoming elections. Alam naman natin na our choices are very important kasi ayaw na natin maulit yung mga pagkakamali of the past. But I think I would like to use this time siguro to reach out also to my fellow youth leaders na what's essential kasi now is to make sure na hindi tayo nakikiaway agad. Yung problem kayo sa atin ngayon, gusto ko na woke yung mga tao. I like that people are I'm sorry, rinig yung jeep sa labas ng unit namin. Pero hindi ako na-distract. Hindi, pero parang yung nangyayari kasi ngayon napapansin ko is that people are very frustrated with how things are. Gusto nilang na ng pagbabago that we tend to dictate. Nagdidictate tayo ng mga paniniwala natin sa ibang tao na sometimes parang we're going overboard. Lahat ng kumukonta sa ideas natin, cancel na agad. So that's what I don't like about the cancel culture. Kasi we don't use the time to engage in meaningful conversations, to actually hear other people's opinion out. Kasi sometimes may pakiramdam tayo na lang yung tama eh. And mahirap yun. Like wala tayong ma-achieve kung inaaway natin lahat ng mga tao na iba yung paniniwala sa atin. So I think in order to influence people in choosing the right leaders for the upcoming elections, the first step is to really hear them out. Na parang, bakit ganyan yung paniniwala mo? Saan tayo nagkakaiba? And maybe with that conversation, we can better understand what's going on in their heads, and we can probably tackle and address the certain misconceptions that they have. For example, ito pala yung paniniwala nila kasi akala nila ganito. So it's not really their fault kasi parang hindi nakasalanan na hindi lang sila as aware or probably misinformed sila. Kasi yung nakakarating din sa kanila na information is different from what we know or is different from the truth. And we have to admit na hindi naman lahat may kakayahan to sift through information to know what's fake news and what's not. So I think the challenge for us really in influencing people to make the right choices is to listen to them, is to be more patient and to be more accommodating. Na kumbaga hindi lahat ng kontra sa atin kaaway natin. Pwedeng magkaiba lang talaga yung paniniwala natin. But it's not a hopeless case. So why should we cancel them? We should hear them out. We should respect what they think. And probably in our own ways, pag mahinahon na lahat ng emosyon, doon tayo mag-try mag-influence sa kanila by telling them what we know. And hopefully, malinawan sila. And alam niyo naman, di ba, pag dalawang tao, sabihin na lang natin mag-boyfriend, mag-girlfriend. Pag sobrang galit na sila, wala kang ma-achieve, mag-aaway lang yan.
Yes.
Parang nagkakaroon lang ng maayos na usap kapag yung emotions mo tone down na eh. And I think that's how we should go about influencing people in the next couple of months, in the next couple of weeks, na makinig tayo, maging mahinahon tayo. And sana sa proper conversation, sa proper education, may marating tayo. Hindi na nag-work yung basta-basta mangka-cancel tayo ng ibang tao. So I think that's one of the lessons we learned over the years, and I hope that's one of the things or the action points we can do moving forward. Kasi alam naman natin how crucial 2022 is. And I think tayong mga nakakaalam at tayong mga nakakakita kung ano nangyayari, it's our job to engage in conversation and to make people understand what's going on. Pero ayun nga, mahirap siya. Ako, madalas na nawawalan din ako ng pasensya. Umiinit din yung ulo ko. But I always have to remind myself na walang na-achieve through anger. Kailangan mahinahon all the time. So ayun, I don't know if that directly answered your question, but I really felt that was something I had to say. Kasi yun yung isa sa mga nakikita kong pagkukulang din sa ating mga youth leaders ngayon. Napangungunahan tayo ng frustration, kumbaga. So as leaders, ayun nga, we have to be one with everyone. We can't discriminate at this point. So ayun. Dami kong sinabi. Pero ayun, yun basically yung gusto ko.
Yes. It makes sense din naman po. And I agree with what you said po.
And actually, Ate Kriya, mo agree ako sa sinabi ni Ate Tricia na dapat we should listen to the side of others. Pwedeng magkaiba tayo ngayon ng pananaw because maybe dahil sa environment nila, magkaiba tayo ng environment, so iba-iba tayo ng information na tatanggap. And one thing that we can choose a good leader maybe we can choose a good leader by knowing the facts. I'm sure naman na marami sa takbo ngayon ay nagkaroon na ng position or naging kilala na at nakikita naman natin kung ano yung mga ginagawa nila. Kung nakikita din natin kung sino yung nag-perform at hindi. And madami ding fake news na kumakalat at kailangan natin yung that's one thing na dapat nating ipakita sa iba or gawin na para hindi maniwala yung iba. And kaya sa lahat ng voters na nanonood, please make use all of the resources na meron kayo to know the facts para hindi po tayo mabilis maniwala sa fake news.
Ako naman, Ate Tin, siguro yung idadagdag ko lang. I agree doon sa kailangan, hindi porket opposing views, ika-cancel na natin or kaaway na natin, di ba? Kailangan natin intindihin saan sila nanggagaling. Yun lang yung key doon. Kailangan natin ng patience doon, di ba? Para maintindihan natin saan sila nanggagaling. Bakit ganun yung iniisip nila. Pero doon sa pagpili ng isang leader, nababanggit kanina, di ba, na mahalaga kung ano yung nasa puso, ano yung nasa loob mo bilang isang leader. And I think nakikita natin yun sa consistency. Parang ano ba yung parang opinion nila or ano yung nagiging action sila, tugma ba yung sinasabi ng bibig nila sa ginagawa nila, yung kung ano kasi nasa loob mo, pagiging consistent ka, lalabas at lalabas yung totoo mong kulay habang tumatagal. So I think mahalaga yung maging yung tignan natin yung pagiging consistent ng mga leaders na i-elect natin. And hindi lang on a national level, pati in our own community. Here in Lancaster, nakikita natin kung ano yung consistency ng mga kapitbahay natin, di ba? Kung gaano ba yan ka-helpful talaga sa mga kapitbahay nila. So, even our volunteers, nakikita natin sino yung mga volunteers na nandyan, laging nag-volunteer kasi nasa puso nila kung anong ginagawa nila para sa community.
Ayun. So grabe nga yung mga naging sagot doon. Ramdam na ramdam ko yung title ng podcast natin ngayon na Make a Choice. So ito na, I think we are down to the last topic na pag-uusapan natin. Although para sa ating mga viewers dyan sa FB Live, if you have concerns or questions na gusto nyong pag-uusapan namin, huwag kayong mahihiyang mag-comment and we'll do our best na masagot yan. So ayun na nga, going back, ito na ang last na manggagaling sa akin. So para sa inyo, gaano kahalaga ang pagde-develop natin ng mas marami pang leaders or game changers sa community? Tayo, let us consider ourselves na tayo ay mentors na sa ating own circle or sa ating community. Ito po ay speaking on a perspective kung saan yung mga leaders po na i-develop natin ay pinaghalong mga adults at mga youth. So, how important is it talaga na tutukan natin ng pansin yun?
Sige, ako na lang mauna dito para ma-limit. Ang dami ko kasi nasabi. So, vihin ko na. So, para ma-manage natin yung time. But ako kasi I think, like, ito yung lagi sa akin sinasabi din ng mga magulang ko na parang panahon na natin or panahon na ng mga nasa nakakabata kasi tayo na yung mas nakakaintindi ko ano yung angkop sa panahon. Di ba ang dami nating sinasabi, for example, yung mga nakakatanda sa atin, hindi na rin naman tama yung sinasabi ninyo o hindi na siya applicable sa times ngayon. So that's precisely why I think it's important to develop yung mga bata na sila yung mag-take on ng leadership roles. Kasi sila na yung nakakita at sila yung mag-acquire o sila yung nandito na ngayon sila yung, paano ba? Nasa kanila yung corona. In other words, parang kung sa Miss Universe, reign na nila yon. Sila yung mas nakakita kung ano ang realities in the ground at sila yung mas makakapagsabi ano ba yung babagay sa atin or ano ba yung babagay na pamamahala, ano yung mga programa o proyekto na mag-work sa generation na to. Kasi kung magbigay ka ng padisco sa mga tao ngayon, baka di nila yun ma-appreciate. Kasi syempre, hindi na yun yung henerasyon nila. So I think it's important to develop the youth, not just because sila yung mas nakakaalam ko ano yung mas tatama sa kanila, but also because nasa kanila yung energy Kung napapansin mo yung mga bata, mas bibo-bibo pa sila kaysa mga mas nakakatanda na medyo napagod na. So while they're young, it's important probably to capitalize on that energy and make sure that they use that for something more productive. So for me, nandun yung essence kasi nasa kanila yung idealism, nasa kanila yung energy. So parang alam mo yan, hindi pa sila masyadong worn out by the ugly realities of the world. So mas may mas may puso pa sila to instill change and to continue whatever it is that they feel are worth pursuing pa na nakuha nila from the previous generation. So ayun, I think yun yung importance talaga sa pag-build on and pag-capitalize ng youth energy in leadership.
It is really talaga important that we na mag-develop ng leaders and game changers in our community. First, kaya ni sinabi ni Ate Tricia na this is our time. Tayo yung mga nakakaalam ng pangangailangan natin ngayon. Tayo yung nakakaalam kung anong dapat gawin sa panahon ngayon. Second is sooner or later, tayo na yung magli-lead sa community natin. Third is, syempre we live in a community na gusto natin na yung mga tao na nakatira I have a same values with us and mga tao na responsible enough para magkaroon ng unity ang community.
Ayan, so ayan na nga ba yung sinasabi ko. Grabe, I can't believe how much I've learned from this episode. Pero wait lang, we have one last question from an anonymous sender. Ayan, so may anonymous sender pala tayo dito. Ayan, so their question is, after developing more leaders, where do we go from here? How do we move forward and what do you think are the next steps? Ayan, so anyone can answer the question. Ayan, so let's discuss this question then.
Ako atitin sa tingin ko, yung pag-develop ng leaders, hindi siya tumitigil. For example, after natin mag-develop ngayon, stop na tayo. Hindi siya ganun eh. Parang continuous siya. So, for example, sa sarili nating social circles, pag na-develop na natin yung leaders around us, they should also develop another generation, another batch of leaders around them. Hindi siya tumitigil sa pag-develop ng isa o dalawa lang. Di ba sabi nga nila yung learning, it is a lifetime na, yung sa buong buhay, marami kang matututunan. Ganon din sa leadership, na hindi siya tumitigil sa isang stop lang na, ay, naging leader na ako ng isang taon, okay na ako. Di ba, hindi siya ganon. So, continuous siya, pati yung pag-develop sa marami pang leaders na, yun nga pag pinagsama-sama natin yung kakayahan natin, di ba? Yan yung pagiging mentor, yung pag-empower sa iba, hindi siya tumitigil from us.
Ayan. So, may sasabihin natin si Ate Tricia kanina.
Yeah, tama naman yung sinabi niya. I don't think we ever stop developing because we have to adapt to the changing times. Tama yung sinabi na hindi naman tayo static. We keep on rolling, we keep on moving. And whatever we learn now, it might not be true or it might not be applicable in the years to come. So it's really a challenge to, alam mo yun, parang domino effect siya. Kung may i-develop ka ng isa, mag-develop siya ng isa. Tuloy-tuloy lang siya. It's a process. But I think important yung question of where do we go from here or what are the next steps. I think, balikan ko yung sinabi ko kanina about conversation and about hearing people out. I think over the years, we've become so divisive. So, ang important, number one talaga, is unity Kasi masyado ng hati yung mundo natin ngayon. And it's hard to lead kapag ang dami-dami mong factions na nag-aaway-away. So, the challenge right now, aside from listening, is to make sure that we all come together again and we all redirect our purposes. Na parang parang isip mo, ano ba talaga yung pinaglalaban natin? And probably go back to that and make sure that you have enough people to fight the same cause and probably take people along with you. So, hindi tayo pwedeng mag-target ng masyadong malaki kung hati pa tayo. So, I think for now, as leaders talaga, what we have to do is listen, what we have to do is engage, and parang we have to make a more welcoming community and make sure that we unite. Kasi, for me, walang use yung mga efforts natin kung hati pa din tayong lahat at kung nag-aaway-aaway pa tayong lahat. So I think for the next steps, dun muna tayo. It may seem small and it may seem so basic, but for me, it's really the foundation na parang you can't stop. Parang hindi kayo pwede magsimula na watak-watak kayong lahat. Dapat kailangan mas meron tayong conscious effort to form a circle again and to bond again. Feeling ko yun talaga yung crucial na next couple of steps.
Agree ako sa sinabi ni Kuya Jon at ni Ate Tricia na yung next steps natin ay pagde-develop pa din ng leader na marunong makinig at leader na magdadala sa atin or magiging dahilan kung bakit tayo united. Kasi kagaya ng sabi ni Kuya Jon, developing leaders is never an ending job or responsibility sa ating lahat. Kasi may dadating na bagong generation na kailangan nating i-develop para sa future generations, ma-develop din po nila. Kagaya nung program po natin dito sa GalingLNC na Snowflakes program.
And so I guess that's it. This serves as a wrap-up of the discussion that we have today for this episode of our special podcast program. So thank you for sharing your insights in this episode. So grabe no, I can't emphasize kung gaano ako nag-enjoy sa episode na to. I really learned a lot and sure akong ang ating mga FB Live viewers ay sobrang enlightened at nagabayan din ng mga guests natin ngayon. Pero kahit we don't want this to end, unfortunately, that will be it for the second episode of our Make a Choice series under the Zoomers podcast. Gaya nga ng mga pinapaalala namin sa nakaraang episode, our little choices in life, may it be big or small, it really affects everyone. Kaya naman we can only hope that this second episode has served as another eye-opener for each one of us in the choices that we make. Bawat isa sa atin ay mga leader, hindi nyo man alam pa sa sarili nyo ngayon, pero naniniwala kami na may kakayahan din kayo na makapaglingkod at makapaggabay sa bawat isa sa paligid nyo. Dahil bilang kabataan at bilang mga leaders din or game changers, tungkulin natin na maging isang responsableng mamamayan. Kabilang narito ang pagiging responsableng botante na maalam at mapagmalasakit upang ibahagi sa kapwa ang kanyang kaalaman. Let us not waste this opportunity to express our love for the country and become leaders of our own. Makilahok at maging aktibo, responsableng mga kandidato, ating iboto. We, the GalingLNC Youth, challenge everyone to make a choice. So, thank you so much once again to Kuya Luster, Kuya Jon, Ate Tricia, and to all our listeners and viewers today for joining us in this meaningful discussion. So before we end this episode, Ate Tricia, meron po ba kayong gustong i-promote or i-share sa ating mga viewers?
Well, coming from a doctor standpoint, syempre yung gusto ko pa ring reminder sa ating lahat ay mag-ingat tayo. I don't think this is going to go away anytime soon. So aside from being careful, of course, is I hope you join us in crying for and in begging for a better response. The crisis response. Pagod na yung mga doktor natin. Ang dami na masyadong naghihirap. So sana hindi tayo makontento na meron tayong bahay na tinutulugan at meron nag-protect sa atin from the virus at healthy tayo. I hope we also call for action for the rest of our kababayans na wala na powerless talaga completely against this virus. So I hope you use your voices and I hope you do something safely, of course. Kasi ayoko magkahawaan tayo. Like, pwedeng ang dami nating energy na tulungan yung mga kapwa natin. Yung mga kasama ko ngayon parang nagbabakuna express. I commend you for what you're doing. That's very heroic. But I also hope that you're careful in doing what you're doing. We don't want more patients, of course, and we don't want more people getting sick. From an ate standpoint siguro, because you keep calling me ate, siguro reminder na lang na alam ko naman ang dami nating energy, ang dami nating gustong gawin. Sana hindi tayo pangunahan ng takot. These are very difficult times and I'm sure a lot of us feel demotivated and discouraged to do what we want to do for the betterment of our country. I hope you don't stop fighting for what is right. I hope you always stay your course, of course. And ayun, wag pang hinaan ng loob. And ayun, yun lang naman yung gusto kong sabihin. Stay safe and wag pang hinaan ng loob. And ayun nga, let's be more inclusive. Reminder that we may be leaders, but we don't have the monopoly of good intentions. We have to always, apart from empowering other people, we have to try to make ourselves better then. And that's the only way we can do that, is to always acknowledge na meron pa tayong pagkukulang and there's always something else we can do. So we have to be more open to people around us. We have to be more open to learn. Hindi pa tayo yung the best, but we can be better than who we are today. So ayun, yun yung mga simple reminders from your ate Tricia. Kasi inaate niyo ako ng inaate kanina pa.
And so thank you so much po, Ate Tricia, for that straight from the heart reminder para sa ating mga viewers and sa lahat ng Pilipino na nanonood ngayon sa ating ngayong gabi. So nga pala guys, voters registration will resume on September 6 sa mga areas under MECQ according to the COMELEC spokesperson sa kaya naman register to vote, and huwag niyo kakalimutan yung date na yon, September 6 sa lahat ng mga MECQ areas. And of course, we would also like to invite every one of you in advance to join us in our upcoming programs and events for the GalingLNC Youth. We will be having a voters registration and education caravan soon in partnership with We the Youth Vote. Kaya naman kita-kits sa September 11. Ayan, next week na yan guys. And of course, meron pang mga susunod na episode for this #Make a Choice series. Kaya we'll also see you there ha. Well, to connect with with us, you may like and follow our official Facebook page, Galing LNC, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Galing TV. You may also find us on Spotify and Apple Music, The Zoomers Podcast. And kapag bored kayo, pwede nyo nang makpakinggan ulit ang aming mga podcast ng Vincent Vince, R3D2, at Halab Hangout. So once again, I am Tricia Sandoval, your host for tonight, and we hope to see you next time. LNC Descents, Galing LNC Youth, and to our viewers out there. Once again, great morning Lancaster, New City, at magandang gabi, Pilipinas. Bye!
Galing, 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 galing.
Sama-sama, halika tayo'y magkaisa. Kapayapaan at pagtutulungan ng mangunguna. Sa hirap man o ginhawa, di makukumparang ligaya. Kaya ikaw at ako, magkasama tayo, tara. Pangarap, isang mithiin ang nag-aabang sa atin. Kaunlaran, mapagtatagumpayan dahil sa LNC, ikaw ang nag-iisang bida. Dahil sa LNC, may naghihintay na pag-asa. Sa LNC, may gagawin